Hi guys. In this practice, you will perform the actions required to prepare the environment for Oracle Golden Gate. Specifically, you will verify the primary key values uniqueness, verify the archiving mode is enabled, set up Golden Gate database user, enable supplemental logging, enable Golden Gate replication, configure and start the manager process, and finally, configure the globals parameter file. In the practices of this course, you will replicate tables owned by the HR schema in the DB1 database to a schema named HRTRG schema in the DB2 database. The HR schema is already there in DB1 as part of the examples schemas. You will create the HRTRG schema yourself in the DB2 database in this practice. You will start with verifying the primary key constraints are implemented. In the source database, DB1, verify that all the tables included in your replication have primary key constraints. Run the code in the document to retrieve any table that doesn't have primary key constraint configured in it. No row retrieved by the select statement, which means all the tables have primary key constraint configured in them. Verify the archiving mode is enabled in all the databases involved in your Golden Gate configuration. As you can see, at the moment the database is running in no archive log mode, and we have to change this and make the database run in archive log mode. You need to run the commands as shown in the document to set the destination of the archived readlog files, which will be in this case the recovery file destination, and also enable the archive log mode in the database. As you can see, an archived readlog file has been generated by the database. You just do the same now in the other database. So the archived mode is enabled at the moment in DB2 database. Now you need to create a database user that will be used by Oracle Golden Gate in each database. You will create a table space dedicated to this database user. grant the required privilege to the OGG user. As you can see, 256 privileges have been granted to the OGG user by executing that procedure. Grant those privileges to the same user in each database. Grant the Select Any Transaction privilege to the OGG user in the source database. Grant the DML operation on any table to the user OGG in the target database. You will now perform the actions to enable the supplemental logging. Enable the minimal supplemental logging option in each database. As you can see, the minimum supplemental logging is disabled at the moment in the database. Optionally, open a monitoring session to monitor the ggserr.log file. This file contains any error that may be raised by Golden Gate. In each database, enable the Golden Gate replication. In the source database, enable the schema level supplemental logging for HR schema. The effect of this command is any table owned by the HR will have the supplemental logging enabled for it. As you can see from the output of the command, all the scheduling columns data will be added in the supplemental logging information. The good thing about this command is even if you add a table in the future in this schema, it will be automatically included in this supplemental logging configuration. Now you will configure and start the manager process. At the ggsci command prompt, enter the command as shown below, edit param mgr. This command will create the parameter file of the manager process and allows you to edit it using the VI editor. As you can see, when you run that command, VI editor will open a file for you. In this case, it's mgr.prm file and allows you to enter the parameters in it. So as you normally use the VI editor, you insert the text using the insert command. Insert command can be enabled by just pressing on I key, and then paste the parameter or type it manually using the keyboard. It's all up to you, into the terminal window. At this stage, you have added 3 parameters to that file: port and dynamic port list, and purge old extracts. You can now exit from the VI editor and save the file. So you just press on escape, then colon, and type WQ, which means save and quit. Being an Oracle DBA in Linux, I believe you already know that. Now to start the manager process, you just issue the command start mgr. So start mgr will try to start the process. In all the commands to start the Golden Gate processes, you cannot be sure whether the start was successful or not. You have to execute further commands to know if the startup was successful or if it failed. Probably info is the easiest way to know if the startup was successful or not. You just use the command info followed by mgr, and now you can see the real status of the process. In this case, the manager is up and running, and it returns also the process ID for you and the port number that it listens to. Do the same for the target system, but in this case the port number will be different. You have to issue the ggsci command prompt and edit params mgr, edit params or edit param, the same effect, and paste the parameters, start the process, make sure the startup was successful using the info command. Yeah, all good. So we have now the process manager running in each system. You need now to configure the globals parameter file. The globals parameter file affect all the processes in an Golden Gate instance. In the following steps, you will create the file and add a parameter to it. In the source system at the ggsci prompt, issue the following command to create the globals file. Make sure the globals file name are all in uppercase. So you created the globals file and added the GG schema parameter to it. This parameter tells the Golden Gate which database schema it should use to store its objects, which is in our case is OGG. Repeat the same steps to create the globals file in the target system. So that's it for this practice. You have performed some actions to prepare the environment for Oracle Golden Gate implementation. I look forward to seeing you again in the next lecture. Thank you very much.